You're tuned into the Believe in Bengals show with Solomon Wilcots and Adam Pacman Jones.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Believe in Bengal podcast delivered by 828 Logistics. He is Adam Pacman Jones. I'm Solomon Wilcots. Thank you for joining us, everyone. And Adam, look, things have really turned for the better as the Cincinnati Bengals head into M&T Bank Stadium for a Sunday night showdown with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. This Bengals offense has been red hot for the last 2 weeks.
And the big thing about last week, no turnovers. No turnovers. That's the biggest thing. We know what Joe can do. We know what the three Migos or the three Stooges, whatever you want to call them, Curly, Larry, and Mo. We know what those guys can do. So it's just getting the line comfortable. We got to establish the running game a little bit more, but we ready. We ready.
Excited. Well, here's what I'm excited about, because each of those last two games, in a win on the road against the Jets and then at home on Thursday night against the Dolphins, the Bengals offense came out, went right down the field and scored on their very first drive. Joe Burrow appears to be clicking. He's sort of shaken off the surgery from the appendectomy. The offensive linemen seem to be in sync. And right now we're starting every single game. It seems like they're coming out fast. And it seems like that's a point of emphasis for the offense to be able to do that, something they did each of the last two games.
Yeah, and we said it earlier, Sally, not just Joe, like the whole team, the play calling, the chemistry. Yep. We starting to see it click. And you can say what you want to say. Like we said, they didn't play preseason. It take a couple of weeks. I know these games count, but it do take a couple of weeks. That's why it's only one team really that luckily that's undefeated right now. But Joe and Zach you can tell they are on the same page.
Yeah. In so much, Joe Burrow, he has a quarterback passer rating of 116.4. It's the highest quarterback rating of any quarterback in the NFL over the last 2 weeks. So no one has been more efficient at the quarterback position. No one has been better in terms of the last two games. So it's night and day from the 0-2 start to now the fact that we're 2-2 and the way that we're playing heading into the Sunday night game. And I love the fact that we found a way to get the ball down the field. Big plays in New York to Tyler Boyd. Big plays in the Thursday night game to both Jamar Chase and T Higgins getting the ball down the field. So you can see it's starting to click. And, we're not letting our quarterback get sacked.
Yeah. And we can't forget about the tight end. He's playing a valuable role right now. And if Joe can sit back there and be comfortable like he was last week, man, he might break the all-time record this year. I'm eager to see how these next 3 weeks go, because the schedule we get into the bulk of the schedule where the games that we thought would be hard, but the records are not showing that they should be hard. These guys that we're playing besides the division games. I'm eager to see how it goes the next couple of weeks.
Hey, look, here's the deal. We got the Sunday night game as we're going into Baltimore. We're going to talk a lot about this team a little bit later, but I just really want to just talk about, if you go back to last year, Adam, the two games the Bengals had against the Baltimore Ravens, Joe Burrow was red hot. In fact, remember their defensive coordinator, Don Wink Martindale, he decided he's going to blitz Joe Burrow, and Burrow lit him up. Almost 1,000 yards passing, 941 to be exact, into two games against the Baltimore Ravens defense. He had 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, and put up 41 points in each game. That's a total of 82 points in both games they played against the Ravens 1 year ago. In a sense, he got that guy fired because they fired him at the end of the season. But that's how good Joe Burrow has been against the Baltimore Ravens defense. Incredible.
Well, the Baltimore Ravens defense is not the defense that they used to be. And they're not as effective as they was in the past. As you can see, everybody is giving Harbaugh hell about going for it instead of taking the 3 points. You know why he didn't go for it? I mean, you know why he didn't kick the field goal? Because he didn't trust the defense. Come on. He didn't trust the defense, Solid.
He didn't trust him, man.
I'm a betting man. I'm betting the over on this week game that's coming up.
41 or more, or where you
41
going?
or more. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to be an over game. And I will say this, like I said earlier, Lamar is having a lot of success in the first half of the game.
Yeah.
But the second half of the game has been different. You know why? Because people see what's going on. This is a copycat league. Why show them everything in the first half when you know in the second half when you play with them, it get a little, what they say, get a little scary, it get a little cloudy back there. You know what I mean? You start seeing, holding the ball a little longer. You know what I mean? So different things start happening. If you look at the film, everybody is playing a lot of man-to-man the first half. Second half, they're playing coverage.
Yeah, that's right.
No matter what the league is. I'm talking about they've been up 21 points, play coverage, get back in the game, win the game.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Hey, I got to tell you, and we're going to talk about this coming up later in the show because Cincinnati Bengals are going to be featured in the Sunday night game. That's right. Prime time. Back-to-back weeks. We get one game on Thursday night, then we get another coming back in the Sunday night game on the road at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And I got to tell you, for my money, because he went to school nearby at the University of Louisville, Lamar Jackson is must-see TV. Speaking of must-see TV, we're going to take a break. But when we come back, joining us right here on the Believe in Bengal podcast delivered by 828 Logistics, Cincinnati Bengal wide receiver T Higgins joins us right here on the podcast when we come back right after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Believe in Bengal podcast delivered by 828 Logistics. Adam Pacman Jones, Solomon Wilcots, and Adam. Today we have a very special guest. That's right, Cincinnati Bengals talented wide receiver T Higgins is in the house on the Believe in Bengal podcast. T, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, man. Bless. How are you?
Hey, doing great, man. First of all, I want to look back before we look ahead to the Sunday night game against the Baltimore Ravens. I want to look back to that Thursday night game against the Miami Dolphins, because you had one of the most talented cornerbacks defending against you in Xavier Howard, all-pro cornerback. And, man, hey, you went right by him like it was nothing. So kind of talk to us about how you accepted the challenge in that game and being able to deliver on that 56-yard touchdown reception.
Yeah, man. Going into the game, we knew they was going to play, a little bit of man, but we didn't know they was going to do, what they did, just man me and, play double-double to TB and Chase. So, during the game, I'm not going to lie, I'm be real. I'm a real person. X was giving me hell, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he's good.
Yeah. I see why he's one of the top paid corners in the league, but, I was frustrated. Coach Troy, he had to calm me down and just attack him, and then on that very next drive, that's what I did. And, a big play happened.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, man, what is the atmosphere over there? I know we started a little slow, but it seemed like you guys are catching your stride now. You could tell that y'all are like in football shape and not in preseason shape anymore. Do you guys feel that over there as a group in the locker room?
Yeah, definitely, man. We just have to get back to who we are. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we was just starting off too slow, especially offensively. Defensively, they've been playing their ass off, all 4 weeks. Offensively, we just started too slow. We wanted to start fast. And we've been able to do that the past 2 weeks. So
take me into your mindset this past offseason. Everybody saw your performance in the Super Bowl against the Rams, and it was phenomenal. I think it was a coming out party nationally for T Higgins. And then I remember going into training camp, watching you at practice. Man, I thought you looked bigger. I thought you looked faster. I thought you looked stronger. You were catching every ball thrown to you. You were just dominating practice. So I said, this is a guy that went to the lab this offseason and put in some work. What was your focus this offseason, and how has that paid off in the first 4 games?
Yeah, for sure. I had tore my shoulder, my labrum last season. So that was the first thing, get surgery, get that fixed up. So it was more so, just getting stronger, getting my shoulder back strong. So I was just, pumping the weights a little bit. And, I couldn't really do too much running. So it was really just being in the weight room, just getting stronger. So that's really, really all I could have did. That's all I did this past offseason was just hit the weight room.
He looked swole, Pac. He looked swole, man. I'm telling you.
You look good, man. You look real good. Hey, coming up this week, y'all got the Ravens, and we've been going in there and not who's there. The Bengals here the last couple times. You got Marcus Peterson, which one is the veteran corners that plays pretty good. What's your mindset? What's the group mindset this week facing that group of DBs?
Honestly, it's just like last week, man. Just go in there and just attack. You know what I'm saying? We got to win because we know what they got over there. We know, all pro corners. So, I mean, we can't just go in the mindset and we can't go in there acting like what we did last year. They just going to roll over. Nah, it's not like that. It's a league playing the best of the best. So we got to go in there and attack the day and, just win.
Yeah, in Baltimore. Yeah, in Baltimore, I'm doing a lot of interviews in Baltimore. And their thing is, they were injured last year. They didn't have all their players. And it's almost like, no one wants to give the Bengals credit for what you guys accomplished last year. And I know last year don't really mean anything as we move forward. But that's kind of the mantra coming out of what they're saying. So how are you guys accepting that challenge against Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphreys as you guys get ready for the Sunday night game?
Man, it's a big challenge, just like last week, we accepted that challenge. We knew coming in how they was going to play as man, zero blitz. But, it's just another primetime game that we got to come in and shine bright when the lights are on.
I say this, the Bengals we did start a little slow offensive-wise, but you have started off on fire.
That's right.
You have started off on fire. So this mindset, is it like whoever weak is whoever weak? You know what I mean? We all sharing the piece of the pie. Whoever get the one-on-ones, because like at the end of the game, they put Chase was in the one-on-one situation when he caught the deep ball down the sideline. So like, is it like, hey, look, man, when you get yours, and is that how I feel over there?
Yeah, for sure. We very unselfish, you know what I'm saying? Because we know like we know somebody gonna go off, you know what I'm saying? So we just want whoever goes off, support them, be behind them. Don't get too upset, that the ball's not coming your way. We know how it's gonna be. We got 3, you know what I'm saying? We got 3 killers out there, so we got to go out there and, just encourage each other. So that's how we go about it.
How much did, after Joe had the appendectomy and he wasn't able to go, because I know it looked like you guys are ready to go into training camp, ready to roll. And then he had to take some time away. And then, how much of that do you think kind of just contributed to maybe the slow start of maybe just him being away and you guys not being able to get those reps in the early part of training camp?
I honestly think that it didn't really mess up anything because we had a whole season with him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I feel like that it didn't mess up nothing. We just had to get back in our groove. You know what I'm saying? We had a new line. You know what I'm saying? We just had to get back to who we was, and we was able to do that the past 2 weeks. So,
man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for Sunday at 8:30, man. I want to say thank you, brother. Thank you. You was our player of the week last week. We appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate you. Keep doing what you do. A lot of big days ahead of you. I know it was your first 100-yard receiving game last week against the Dolphins. The first of many coming up this season. We want to thank T Higgins for joining us here on the Believe in Bengal podcast delivered by 828 Logistics. Adam, we get to turn our attention to the opponent in the Sunday night game, the Baltimore Ravens, and that defense, because I got to tell you, red hot Joe Burrow, this is a defense he loves. He already got the last defensive coordinator fired from 1 year ago. Now they have a new DC in Mike McDonald, and they've given up 2 leads of 17 points or more in 2 games, just coming off the Buffalo Bills game. We saw Tua do it to them in Miami 2 weeks ago. Now, I got to believe the Cincinnati Bengals are poised for a good night in Baltimore in week 5 against the Ravens.
A good night. Shit, this need to be a great night. Joe is back clicking, and this is a stat game. We just got to do our job on defense. But on offensively, you could probably look for one of the most productive days that the Bengals have had this year come Sunday. They not what they used to be. You know, I love Marcus Peterson. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying?
Dicey.
Like we then last in every category. So, yeah. Joe, let's get the running game going. You know what I mean? This is a game that offensively we should be building confidence. You know, this is a game that we should put points up on the board. Now we got to stop them defensively, but offensively, this should be a pin your ear back. Let's see how many times we can get on ESPN.
That's right. The Baltimore Ravens ranked dead last in total defense. They ranked dead last in pass defense. Last week, as you know it, you talked about this earlier, they had a chance to kick the field goal and go up 23-20. After they had driven 17 plays and 93 yards on the drive, instead of going and taking the field goal, they go for the touchdown. Lamar Jackson throws an interception, and then the defense. I think Coach Harbaugh was right not to trust them because they allowed Buffalo to drive 90-something yards in no time flat, kick the game-winning field goal. This defense collapsed last week. They collapsed 2 weeks ago against the Miami Dolphins. And do you know what? The Baltimore Ravens, there's one thing they do well. They take the ball away. They're tied for first with 7 interceptions and tied for second overall with 10 total takeaways. Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense has gone 7 out of their last 8 games with 0 turnovers. If we protect the ball, it's going to be a big day for the Bengals offense.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
And you ain't got nothing else to add after that.
No, I'm just saying we got offensively, we're clicking. We told them everything. Like chemistry, we're clicking. The receivers are clicking. The tight end, he know the offense. He is running. He is ready to go. We just got to handle our job. Like our job. And I know it's a division game. I ain't trying to get ahead of ourselves. But like, come on now. We're click. It's time to go. It's go time now. Like we ain't start off how we want to start off. So we got to make up them couple games.
Okay. In the TV business, it's called the tee up. And here's what I'm gonna tee up. We ain't clicking on everything. We can't run the ball through a Pop Warner team on Christmas Sunday. Well, yeah, it ain't clicking. We got no only thing. Do you know
and this week we go?
Okay, I teed you up. I teed you up.
This week we need to run the ball.
You laid out. Now I'm gonna tell you because we rank second to last with nearly the worst rushing average per attempt in the National Football League. That don't sound like clicking to me.
We're top 5 in passing.
Bruh, you know in this league, you gotta run
number one in quarterback.
You gotta run it, and you gotta run it. You can't be one-dimensional in this league.
I totally agree. And I just said earlier that we got to run the ball. And this is a game that we get the running game established. But don't take away the throwing the ball. Because we need to run the ball. I'm sorry, sir. We got a guy back there. If we have to throw it 70 times, we can. But
no,
if we gonna choose to throw it 70 times, this is the game to do it.
Let me tell you something. The Baltimore Ravens are tied for first place on defense with taking the ball away. Tied with the Eagles, 10 total takeaways in the first 4 games. That nothing determines wins and losses more than turning the football over. And if they're the top, they 2-2. Let me finish. And the thing is, what we have to do is take care of the ball. Part of that is running the football and having a well-balanced attack. We can be explosive in the passing game, even more so when we're running it effective. Play action pass, bomb. But you got to have the run game complementing the passing game. And so we can come on the Believe in Bengal podcast and keep it real for the people and tell them the Cincinnati Bengals are doing great over the last 2 weeks. But here's one place where we ain't been doing so great, and that's running football. And I'd love to see that improve in the Sunday night game.
Me too. And like we said, it's got to get better. 23 carries, I think Joe had last week for wasn't even 70 yards. So we got to fix that. We got to improve that. If we need to improve, if we had one thing the men solid had to pick, it would be the running game. I'm me personally, because the special team is fixed. We got a snapper that looked good. We kicked one from 64 yards. Not gonna complain about that. Then I go to the other, punt return. We could do a little bit better there. You know what I mean? But everything else is playing pretty good. Defense playing high, secondary playing pretty good right now. They playing with a lot of intensity. Guys are getting the ball. We are not allowing too many deep shots. All the other categories are pretty good, but the run game. And I was the one who came on here and stuck my neck out and said that Joe Mixon will have 2K this year, and
he still can get it. Not rushing.
He still can get
rushing
it.
And receiving. Rushing and receiving. He can still get it. And the run game problem is not a result of Joe Mixon. I think
it's definitely not
it's about getting him to the next level. Oh, by the way, special team AFC player of the week, our boy Evan McPherson. That's right. So keep doing your thing, Evan. No longer the rookie. He big man on the block right now. The question that all inquiring minds want to know: how will the Cincinnati Bengals defense stop the ultimate weapon on offense himself, Lamar Jackson, the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, on Sunday night?
The 12th man. We need a 12th man. And guess who the 12th man, Solly?
I don't know. Tell me.
No other than one of the best rising, or should I say already, defensive coordinators in the game.
Lou Anarumo.
Yes, Lord. And I'm trusting that Lou is going to pay attention to everything that's going on. And, you can't stop Lamar. It's about how do you contain him, or how do you switch up things on third down so you can win the third downs. Are we worried about Lamar getting 100 yards? No, but we are worried about him changing the game. So I'm quite sure Lou have seen the tape, and he got to figure out a way to disguise and distract and change up. He can hold on to the ball just a second longer. As you see that he's been doing the second half of these last two games.
Well, Lamar Jackson comes into the Week 5 Sunday night game tied for first place with 11 touchdown passes. He's been prolific. The guy is great when it comes to getting out of the pocket. He can break your back with a long run. He's the only quarterback, Adam, in NFL history, and he did this against the Miami Dolphins just 2 weeks ago. He's the only quarterback in NFL history to have a 70-yard touchdown pass in a game, and in the same game having a 70-plus yard touchdown run in the game. That's how dynamic he is. And he's just been incredible. He ranks 5th in the NFL with 20 passes, or I should say, 20 passes of over 20 yards or more down the field. So what that means is we're going to have to defend deep, but still rally, man, when he tried to break out of that pocket and run. And I go back to what Lou Anarumo did against them last year in the very first game when he played. What we did is we rushed to contain him in the pocket, force him to make throws deep in the pocket. And then we would spy with Sam Hubbard and bring him late, like on a green dog blitz, a delayed blitz, forcing him to step up in the pocket. But as he steps up, here comes Sam Hubbard to get him. Sam can track him as good as any defensive lineman. He runs like a former DB. That's because he is. And so we've got our secret weapon, but man, it's a tough task trying to contain Lamar Jackson. But how do you like the way that we played him last year, and should we go about doing that again this year?
Before I answer that, Sally, I was thinking, when he first came out, I compared him to like a Reggie Bush, you know what I mean? Because he was that dynamic
at quarterback.
At quarterback. I'm like, this kid, and I'm sitting here, I was thinking, I'm in the league. I'm like, there's no way that he'll be able to come to the NFL and do this same shit.
And do that. Yeah.
There's no way. And he has proven me wrong. So, but back to your question. I love that idea, because if you all are blitz him, he's going 90. We said he couldn't throw the ball down the field. We figured out he can throw the ball down the field.
That's right.
So I think the way Lou is playing him is a good idea, like rush him, but don't rush him, and keep the spy on him and play coverage. Make him beat us playing cover 4 with everybody buzzing, and keeping a spy on him, then going man to man when it's easy for him, and he can have a guy on the over route. It's simple, boom, safety high. Whatever we do, I think he need to have to wait all the way until the ball is snapped and then figure it out. No way that we just show him the coverage immediately, though.
No. We want to thank you for joining us on yet another edition of the Believe in Bengal podcast delivered by 828 Logistics. Don't forget, go to the Believe Network at Believe.com, BLEAV.com. Continue to watch us right here on Bally Sports Ohio, channel 43. That's right, on Spectrum Cable. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Solid. This weekend, me and you, Eli's, 8:30. If y'all want to watch the game, sorry, y'all.